looks like Fajardo is hurt.
If it's up to me, I'm playing. I think everybody feels like we're on the same page, and I should be able to be healthy enough to go out there and play some football.
Friday Night Football takes us to Regina, where the Roughriders looking to bounce back after 2 losses to the Argos, but it will not be easy. The BC Lions, who are 4-1, currently in town, and Nathan Rourke also looking for a bit of a better performance as we welcome you inside the CFL on TSN studio on this Friday night. Kate Burness alongside Davis Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stiegel. Let's go keys to the game, Davis Sanchez.
I know you love this guy, Milt, but Duke Williams is the key.
Wow.
If Cody's got to get the ball out, it's obvious who you go to when you need a play, and so it's TJ Lee and Marcus Sales, the halfbacks. Who wins those battles between the two halfbacks and Duke Williams on those downfield balls?
Yeah, I think it's Jamal Morrow for Saskatchewan, controlling line of scrimmage, run the football, take pressure off of Cody so they can pass the football. But I think it's for Nathan Rourke, let's just be clear, y'all. He was 22 at 30 last week for 73% completion, right? 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. And those 2 picks are really are what he's talking about in his performance, and he was disappointed in that. But I think the key to this game is him pulling it down and run it. I've talked about it this week, and this kid's got some great ability to make people miss, Milt.
Right.
And I think when he can do that, he puts added extra pressure on the defense, and then the big shots down the field come.
The Rough Riders do something better than any team in the league. They do what? They get after the quarterback. They're leading the league with 26 sacks. They also do something worse than the rest of everybody in the league. They give up the most sacks. They've given up 25, and the BC Lions are only giving up 4. So this game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage. Can the Rough Riders get after the BC Lions? Can the Rough Riders protect their quarterback who's ailing right now? That's going to be the key, and I think it's going to be the biggest reason why they win or lose this game.
Yeah.
And can Nathan Rourke perform in front of that hostile crowd at Mosaic Stadium? A great West battle. Can't wait for tomorrow night as well. But first, we've got the Riders. We got the BC Lions. We'll get you there and join Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter right after this.
Friday night, we see the Rough Riders hosting the BC Lions.
Wasting no time to the end zone. The Lions strike again. Near side, picked off. And this one's going to go all the way back midfield and more. It's Marshall to the 5. Pick 6 the other way.
The only way you can get higher in the standings is by playing those West opponents. We have a good opportunity to knock some teams off and kind of control our own destiny.
It's another day in paradise on the prairies. A beautiful 27 degrees as we get set for a big-time West Division battle at Mosaic Stadium. The 4-1 BC Lions, a loss to the Bombers, the only blemish on their record, roll into town to face the Riders squad looking to snap a 2-game slide. And a good spot to be here for the Riders. They've been excellent at home over the last 20 games, and they've won 8 in a row here against the Lions.
Yeah, and in their last home game against Toronto, Cody Fajardo, their starting quarterback, did not play, but that was because of COVID protocols, not because of his knee. So the question was, will he or won't he tonight with a bye next week? Medical staff and Cody, the coaching staff, all said they should go. He's their best chance to win. So Cody Fajardo starts tonight and will go head-to-head with Nathan Rourke. This is start number 8 for him. His first one was right here when he was told just an hour before kickoff. That was a bumpy start for Nathan Rourke, but he showed some great resilience.
Rick Campbell 6-8 versus the Riders so far. Just the second road game of the season for BC, looking for their first 5-1 start since 2007. On the other side, Craig Dickinson has never lost to the BC Lions. He is 5-0. His team, of course, having dropped the last 2. A huge West Division battle here at Mosaic. Great crowd in Regina as we get set. You can feel it in the air tonight. We got a big one between the Riders and the Lions as BC just 1 loss on the year. This is just their second game against the division. And this will be taken just inside the 15, back to the 20. Brought up the near sideline by Shai Ross. Takes it outside the 35. And a look at Nathan Rourke.
Well, flirting with a record in completion percentage in a season, as you saw in the opening. He's at 78.8 completion percentage. The record held by Ricky Ray at 77.2% back in 2013. 5 starts, 4-1 tonight, but this is start number 8 in his journey. The first one, as I mentioned, right here at Mosaic in hostile territory.
24-year-old has been sacked just 4 times this season. Crowd here trying to get in his head early. Starts from just outside his own 30. Pressure coming, and they get there early. Rourke will be taken down on the first play of the game. 3 members of the line getting home.
I'm going to give the assist early on here to the secondary too, because Rourke had a bit of a pocket. He's been real good at recognizing defenses and getting the ball out quickly. Larry Dean shows blitz and then doesn't come, so it's straight 4-man pressure, and it just collapsed the pocket. The Bears there. Charleston Hughes looking for sack number 3 on the season. Did he get credit for that one or not?
Anthony Lanier, they gave him credit for it.
Okay.
5 sacks on the season for Lanier. He was the guy that you couldn't see in there. 2nd and 14 for Rourke here early. Passing situation, can he get it away? Pressure again. Oh, nice move to get free. Eventually tracked down from behind. And looks like he might be spotted just shy of a first down, but an excellent effort from Rourke to look for 14. They'll give him 13.
Yeah, it really was a great effort. I mean, a couple of times where he wanted to load it up a second time. Bounces outside here after that pocket starts to collapse again. And then that move just to get defender up in the air. And he's going to be close enough where Campbell could probably go ahead and go for this. I mean, inside of a yard.
That'll put Rourke over 200 yards rushing on the year.
Well, maybe he won't. He's going to look like...
Well, look at where they spotted. They spotted it back at the 44. It looked like originally it would have been up at the 45.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why. And that can come from the command center as well to get the spot correct in real time. But when they first spotted the ball, it was inside of a yard. And at 2 yards, he's not going to gamble.
Flintoff will come out to kick it away. Mario Alford waits for it back on his own 10. He'll hustle over to his left. It's going to bounce past him and all the way into and out of the end zone here with 13:02 on the clock in the first quarter. We get our first look at Cody Fajardo.
Well, if you're wondering, if this is the right decision, I think it was. I mean, the fact that he's got a knee brace on, they're saying it's an MCL strain. It's not his plant leg. He said he's had this type of injury before, so he's had it in college on both legs, as a matter of fact, so he understands how to manage it. But best chance to win, you mentioned the record. Cody Fajardo here at Mosaic Stadium, 15-3.
Very impressive at home. Lions on top, 1-0 after a booming kick from Flintoff. Fajardo starts on his 40. Near side, looking for Williams, tried to one-hand it. Purifoy in coverage as we take a look at this Riders starting offense, brought to you by Expedia.
Well, this is game 8, and Logan Ferland is the 3rd center for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Logan Bandy out, Dan Clark out early in the season. Duke Williams has served his suspension and is back in the lineup starting at slot back.
319 yards on the season, 2nd on the team behind Schaefer Baker. Empty backfield here for Fajardo, 6 wide, steps back in the pocket, pressure coming, gets it away before he's taken down, and it will be a completion, but not near enough. As he did find Tevin Jones, who came back to that ball, but he was wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, I think the crowd here in Saskatchewan and Rider fans that are watching on TV are going to hold their breath every time a defender gets near number 7, because they're, concerned obviously about that knee. But, I think when he runs, he can protect himself and hook slide. He's okay in the pocket. It's when he's trying to fight off a tackle.
That was Boachum on his back that time, looking for his 2nd sack of the year. Fajardo avoided it. And now the return taken back outside the 25 after a 49-yard kick. Nathan Rourke will have the ball for a 2nd time when we return here at Mosaic. BC Lions getting back in the win column last week against Hamilton, and here's a look at the day for Nathan Rourke.
That was play number 1, a 44-yarder to Lucky Whitehead, and you know, I think when you look at the numbers, you would say he started hot, and now teams are starting to figure out a little bit of his tendencies, and that's the numbers have gone down a little bit, but he got the win, and that was most important against a good Hamilton defense.
He has thrown multiple interceptions in 3 straight, multiple touchdowns as well, though 14 touchdowns on the year to go along with 6 interceptions. Lucky Whitehead, huge last week, 111 yards, catching 8 of 9 targets thrown his way. They will start on their own 28 this time. Handed off, nowhere to go, wrapped up immediately. That was Anthony Lanier again. Let's take a look at this BC offense.
Joel Figueroa is going to be head-to-head with Charleston Hughes, who is looking for one more sack to tie Joe Momford on the all-time list. There's James Butler. This is an offense that rushes the ball better than any team in the league so far this season at 121 per game. And that was a bit of a challenge for Saskatchewan on defense against Toronto, where Andrew Harris had 143 yards rushing.
And even after that, the Riders still come into the game first in the league, 74.4 yards allowed per game on the ground. Rourke going here, batted away. Knocked down at the line by DeMarcus Christmas. And a nice start for this Riders defense.
Yeah, this is for an offensive line. This is frustrating because you've got them held up at the line of scrimmage. You've created a nice pocket for your quarterback, and then this happens where you just get, as a defensive lineman, your hands up in the throwing lane, and what looks like had the potential to be a first down and a completion gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Flintoff lets this fly. Bounces at the 40. Taken there by Alford. 51-yard kick. Short return to the far side of the field, and that is where Cody Fajardo, excellent at home, will get the ball for the second time today. He's completed 1 pass. He will look for more with his team down 1-0 to the Lions.
Lots of discussion as to whether or not Cody Fajardo should sit this game out. This was Wolfville when he aggravated that knee injury. Sean Oakman on a sack that got him low and buckled that knee a little bit. Limped the rest of the game. They've determined that it's probably not going to completely heal over the next couple of weeks. Best chance to win, he goes with the brace.
Starts here on his own 38. They'll hand it off up to about the 40 against this BC Lions defense.
Yeah, defense has been solid up front, you know, across the board, both middle of the pack in the sack department. Very good against the run in their own right, under 100 yards per game. Their linebacking core, Uches Purefoy seems to be, whether the stat line says it or not, he seems to be around the ball every single play. And Gary Peters in that back end has 3 interceptions, and there's a few guys tied at 3. 3 of them are playing in this game tonight. Gary Peters, Nick Marshall, and Derek Moncrief.
2nd and 8 for Fajardo. Pressure right up the middle. Looks good here on the move. Rolling to his right, down the field, up for grabs, and they got it. At the 40, it is hauled in. Big play by Fajardo as he finds the 24-year-old Emelis. 32 yards.
Well, this is a great sign for Rider fans to see Cody Fajardo get out of the pocket and get out of trouble. This was a blitz that went through the B-gap that was clean. He made one man miss, got outside. That was Josh Banks, and hits Emelis down the field in the scramble drill.
Gary Peters got turned around there. Emelis had eyes on the ball and managed to haul it in. Just over 9 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter. Fajardo now over the middle, and that one in and out of the hands of Duke Williams, who's catching balls at less than a 50% rate so far this season.
Boy, against the BC Lions, how about being perfect? Perfect 5-0 so far, Cody Fajardo, completing almost 80% of his passes with a 7-4 touchdown interception ratio. And just missed Duke Williams, or he may have scored on that play.
Had a lot of room if he was able to haul that one in. Sets up a 2nd and 10 though on the BC 38. Morrow will move out to the right of Fajardo. 3-man pressure right over the middle. That's a first down as the ball is hauled in by Schaefer Baker, who's having an excellent second season with the Riders.
He is, but was quiet last week. I mean, you know, Cody Fajardo did not start in that game. It was Jake Dolegala, but targeted 7 times, did not have a catch last week, Schaefer Baker.
Prior to that, he'd hauled in 82% of the balls thrown his way, so an off week. Let's just describe it as that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they'll tuck it into the belly of the running back Morrow, and he lunges ahead down towards the 20 as the Riders are putting together the best drive of this football game so far.
Yeah, no, and a lot of eyes on the offensive line too for Saskatchewan, having to make the change to move Logan Furland over Logan Bandy's in protocol. So Jason Moss's group, he's wondering, he's got Josiah St. John starting at guard. His first start of the season, played a little bit last week.
6 yards on that pickup for Morrow, sets up 2nd and 4. They'll go back to him again, and tripped up immediately, gets it down to the 20 and not much further, and that'll bring him 3rd down as we see some pushing and shoving and whistles aplenty here midway through the first quarter.
Sione Tehema is back in the lineup for the BC Lions, number 47, and he's going to be active. I mean, this is, first of all, it's TJ Lee that gets first contact. He's going to jump up and run support from the secondary, but I'm going to keep my eye on 47 for the BC Lions again tonight, because started off strong with 3 sacks out of the gate.
100th career game for TJ Lee. Nice mark for him. Yeah, he would have been there sooner, dealt with an injury, a big injury earlier in his career. I'm sure his wife Brittany and his 2 kids are watching tonight, watching Daddy play game 100. Brett Lotherow for the lead from 28 yards. 21 of 25 on the season. And he puts that one right down the middle. And the Riders will go on top for the first time here tonight. 3-1 the lead midway through the first quarter for the home side at Mosaic.
At Swiss Chalet, kids can now eat free when you dine in. Enjoy Canada's favorite slow-roasted rotisserie chicken. That's right, when you order...
Welcome back, and a look at 2 of the all-time greats right there. Hey, Suits?
Yeah, absolutely. Charleston Hughes with a sack last week against Toronto ties John Bowman. Can pass him if he gets one tonight, and tie Joe Mumford. So we will be watching the matchup between he and Joel Figueroa. In fact, we're keeping track, and they've gone head-to-head 4 times. Bit of a soft right now, although Charleston Hughes got involved in the run game, stopping James Butler on an earlier play.
And he almost had a sack, too. He was in on that one that ended up getting credited to Anthony Lanier, his 5th of the season. Rourke starts on his own 40, trailing by a couple of points here in the first quarter. Pressure from behind. Ball pops loose, and are the Riders on it? Pressure on Rourke. They turn it over. Who it is? Charleston Hughes.
Charleston Hughes
Knocks it out. That's his 3rd forced fumble of the season.
He just gets out of his stance so quickly, and this one will give to 39 in the matchup. Again, it's Joel Figueroa. We had a nice talk with him on Zoom this week in his matchup against Hughes, and he has to get those feet moving to get him wide and past Nathan Rourke. Good get off for Charleston Hughes to get around the corner and get his left hand on the throwing arm of Rourke.
Does get credit for a sack here on that forced fumble, so that moves him into a tie with Montford, 5th all time. What a way to do it, too, in style, hey?
He has some fun playing the game, I would think. Take a look at that. Look.
Fajardo with 3 options to his right, looks to his left, throws to his left, and there's a flag on the play, multiple flags. Delvin Breaux took down Duke Williams.
Maybe incidental. I think that's what Delvin Breaux is probably arguing right here, that Duke Williams...
Defensive pass interference, BC, number 23. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down, Saskatchewan.
Well, he didn't get incidental. He got pass interference, which is point of foul. There's Duke Williams right there. He's going to run this post route. And it looked like Delvin Breaux tried to cut underneath and clipped his legs, but they're calling it pass interference, so it's spot foul where the foul occurred.
20-yard bump down the field will take it inside the 10. First and goal from the 8 for Fajardo. Morrow slides back into his quarterback's left. Will pick up some pressure. Fajardo to the end zone. Williams tries to go up, batted away. Covered well by TJ Lee, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, I think the pressure here just forced Cody Fajardo to throw off his back heel, and when he did that, he just couldn't get enough on the throw. Watch him fade away from this one. Pressure coming, and the Lion, it was a fast break to get to number 7 there. Throws falling away and just doesn't get enough on it to give Duke Williams a chance, although he almost got over the top of Lee.
Second down now for Fajardo. Pressure again from the Lions. Throws it quickly again to the corner, and he's got a touchdown, Saskatchewan. Tevin Jones, second of the year, goes up and gets it.
It's a depleted lineup last week due to COVID and injuries and suspensions for Saskatchewan. About 35% of their starters not in the lineup, and that worked in favor of Tevin Jones because he got some playing time. He got some targets, and he has gained some confidence. This is just a 50-50 ball. He goes up and gets it.
14 working against 14 there, and it was Marcus Sales unable to make a play on that one. Cody Fajardo, his 9th touchdown pass of the season. Lother out to make it a 10-1 ball game as the Riders, their defense sets the table for their offense, and Cody Fajardo takes care of business the rest of the way. Second career touchdown for Tevin Jones, the first-year Rider out of Memphis.
Bubbles.
Tevin Jones had a touchdown last week. He's got another one here tonight. A nice start for the Riders. And for more on that, let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky.
Well, Dustin, a nice start for the Riders, but when you think about this Riders team in recent weeks, they've been making headlines, but so often it's been for all of the wrong reasons. You know, they want to play physical. They've talked about that. They want to have swagger, but Cody Fajardo said they also know they need to clean it up. They have a bit of a bad boy persona going on right now, and that's not what they want to have. He told us that after that game in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, they had a players-only meeting. They kicked out the coaches. They let guys get stuff off their chest. He feels that the best teams are player-led, police themselves. Sometimes the message obviously comes better from other teammates than it does from coaches. They're looking to turn things around here and change the narrative of this group.
Oh, they like what they've seen so far here. We do have a whistle on this kick. The Riders come into this game averaging just 3.3 points per first quarter this year, so this has got to feel good with everything they've been through.
Yeah, and I think when you get to the point of a players-only meeting, you know, that's when you really can make some progress. I mean, at the end of the day, the guys have to own it. And Duke Williams, who was suspended last week because of what happened in Wolfville, apologized to his teammates, apologized to the fan base and his coaching staff, and basically said, hey, it'll never happen again. We've got to get things straightened out, like Sarah said. And it sounds and looks like the Riders are doing that.
We will try this again as it is kicked away. Ross is going to have to hustle here, and that will take a bounce just inside the 30, and a flag on the play.
It's a live ball after 10 yards.
Hopping all over that.
Illegal kick, Saskatchewan, number 70. Ball will be placed 30 yards in advance of the kick. First down, BC.
Well, they're saying it hit the white stripe just before it was touched.
I think it did. I think they got it. That's a tight call.
And you can take a look. Yeah, just before it was touched out of bounds, because that's a live ball once it travels 10 yards.
It'll be set now up at the 50. So good field position here for the BC Lions. If you look at the Riders' defense so far, pressure and a sack, a run that was stuffed at the line. The only play BC's really had was Rourke scrambling out of the pocket, picking up 12 yards on the play. That's it. Outside of that, Riders have been all over the young quarterback. Starts here on his 50, first and 10. Quickly gets this one away to Whitehead, his first catch of the game against this Riders starting defense?
Well, let's look at it. Charleston Hughes gets a second straight start. He's got sack number 3. He's up the list and tied with Joe Montfort all time. We're going to continue to watch him. One of the best linebacking corps collectively in the league, but Larry Dean and Darnell Sankey are 1 and 2 on defensive plays league-wide. Nick Marshall has 3 interceptions, as does Derek Moncrief. That's tied for the league lead as well.
2nd and 1. And pushing ahead, needed the 50. Sure looked like he got it. And that'll keep this offense on the field.
But you're right about the play of the defense so far against the BC Lion offense that started the season averaging over 500 yards of net offense per game. Jason Shivers has started to get more tendencies on what they like to do. And that's not just Nathan Rourke in start number 8 tonight. That's reading the entire style of Jordan McSimmons, the offensive coordinator, and what he likes to do offensively with Rourke as their leader.
Working from the 49, they'll hand it off to Butler, cuts it back up the middle. Heavy collision down inside the 45, but falls forward towards the 40.
We did this in the pregame, showing you a little bit of why the Lions have been successful running the ball with James Butler. It starts up front and them working together. This offensive line in BC have played together all 5 games. Not one missed game from any one of the 5 up front.
Getting some consistency early in the year will go a long way. Rourke again, trying to take it around the left side of the line, looking for some space. Can be stopped before he could get to the 40.
I don't think so. I don't think he got there. Need to get past the 40 by a yard. He's short of the 40.
They'll bring up 3rd down. You're not going anywhere with this offense, though, aren't you? Keeping them out there?
Well, yeah, now you're a yard or just inside a yard. I think you definitely go for it. And that's exactly what Rick Campbell wants to do.
3rd and 1. Rourke slides up under center again. Pushing forward. Second push might be enough. Initial push forward didn't look like it was there.
Where the game is won and lost. This, when you see short yardage down on the goal line or a 3rd down and 1, it's about leverage. Low man wins here. And I think that O-line firing off got just a little bit lower, and Rourke with second effort gives it a push and gets the 1st. Tense moments for coaches.
Fingers crossed, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Minute and a half remaining on the clock here in the opening quarter. 4 options to the right for Rourke. That's where he's going to look. Finds a man wide open in the middle of the field, and that is taken down towards the 20. First catch of the game for Javon Catoy.
Yeah, not covered down here, so this is just a bust from the Saskatchewan secondary because Catoy is the 4th receiver to that side of the field, so that's basically a quad set and just not picked up, dropped in coverage. Not sure if it was Mike Edom that was supposed to snug up on him.
19 yards for Catoy. Now they'll give it to Butler, and Butler is tracked down before he can get to the 15. Larry Dean in on the tackle.
This time it's going to be Charleston Hughes flopping side, so he's going against Kent Perkins, and this is big on big. This offensive line trying to get that block and then get their running back to spring out that right side off tackle. Big on big with the push, and there's that little hold to the linebacker court.
8th play of the drive for BC. Lucky Whitehead, top of your screen. Butler's going to slide out there now as well. 4 options to the left for Rourke. That's where he's going to go, and he's got a completion down to the 10. First catch of the game for Dominic Rhymes.
And Dominic Rhymes comes back on a curl. And the reason that Nathan Rourke knew that this was going to be man coverage is because he had his running back out here, and when the running back went out, Larry Dean went out to cover him. So basically, Nathan Rourke, before he gets the ball in his hand, says, I know I got man because the linebacker went to cover my running back. I'm going to throw it to Dominic Rhymes right over the middle in that curl.
First and goal from the 10. BC 80% in the red zone this year. They'll give it to Butler. Stays on his feet. Makes one man miss. Then Dean came in and was able to track him down and hold him in place until Amari Henderson could come and finish the job. Excellent start here at Mosaic. It is the Riders at home on top. 10-1 they lead, looking to make it 9 in a row against the Lions. Welcome back to Regina, everyone. The Riders at home up 10-1 on the BC Lions, and what really jumps off the page for you there outside of 10-1?
Yeah, I think that's probably the thing that does jump off the page is 10 points for Saskatchewan. They've been sort of right around 3 points in the first quarter, so slow starters offensively. They get their starting quarterback back. That's got to inspire the entire offense. Pretty good play calling to mix up pass and run from Jason Moss. So Cody Fajardo returning to the starting lineup has made a difference.
And that turnover huge in this game. The only turnover that we've seen so far ended up in points just moments later. BC Lions looking to answer back here as we get set to start the second quarter. First of two huge ones in the West this weekend. Stamps, Bombers. Tomorrow, late afternoon in Calgary. Rourke, 3 of 4 for 34 yards. Looks for a big chunk here from the Rider 13. Dumps it off to his running back. Nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately by Moncrief and taken down, and that'll bring up third down for BC.
Well, the BC Lions had been and have been the #1 team in the league in the red zone. You mentioned, Dustin, they're at about 80% coming into this game, but just a great tackle in the open field. Derek Moncrief, one-on-one with lots of room for James Butler. He's made lots of guys miss in that situation. Not that time on Derek Moncrief.
Sean White, 7 for 7 on the year. Make it 8 for 8. He's the only kicker in the league to remain at 100% on the season. CFL on TSN continues tomorrow as Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stampeders host Willie Jefferson and the Bombers under the lights in Calgary. Kickoff begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Hey, this is the rubber meets the road part of the regular season. West versus West, East versus East. You can separate if you're Winnipeg. You can catch up if you're Calgary and BC with wins. Riders fighting to stay in that fight and in the race. So was Edmonton.
Bombers unbeaten.
Yeah.
And Calgary near perfect after a bye week for what seems like forever. So something's got to give at McMahon tomorrow. Morrill with some room on the far side of the field. He'll take it outside the 50 for a Rider first down.
Boy, the accuracy on that throw from Cody Fajardo is just outstanding, because what you want to do is throw it just in front so the running back can, or receiver sometimes, can catch it while looking downfield and making sure he knows where the defenders are. And that was just let out there nicely for Jamal Morrill.
First and 10 from the 52, turns and hands it off to Morrill. A huge hole here again. Jamal Morrill down to the 40, stays on his feet, tracked down and taken down at the 30 by Quincy Moget, but 28 hard yards on the ground for Jamal Morrill.
Yeah, nice little move here by Evan Johnson to bounce off the line of scrimmage and then step up and make a great block right at the point of attack for Jamal Morrill. He gets on to that second level, makes a hit on Jordan Williams, and as soon as he does that, Morrill has the hole he needs to get to the secondary.
No shortage of bursts there from Morrill. Now out into the flat, Justin McGinnis takes it down inside the 25. A big follow-up there after the huge play from Jamal Morrill, who's having an incredible season.
Yeah, he is. I mean, you look at all-purpose numbers. He got a bunch of yards returning early in the season, and now has started to accumulate more and more yards from the line of scrimmage offensively as he's become the feature back and #1 guy. Shaq Cooper, by the way, was signed for Saskatchewan because Frankie Hickson is out tonight, not dressed.
Yeah, Cooper was around earlier in the season, brought back in right now, was of course with BC to start 2023. 21. 2nd and 2. Morrow again, and he takes it down inside the 20. That's a first down on the strength of the legs of number 25.
You can get, it starts, you call it big on big, which is O-line against D-line. Big guy against big guy. Pretty simple. But if you can get big on linebacker, you get the run game going. Run game didn't get going for Saskatchewan last week against Toronto. One of the reasons they lost. Toronto ran the ball well, and last week Saskatchewan did not.
41 yards on 5 carries for Jamal Morrow, averaging over 5 yards per carry on the season. Fajardo, far side, up a little high. Schaefer Baker tried to haul it in with his left hand, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as a miss. You saw Cody Fajardo. The timing was good. He threw it just before Keon Schaefer Baker came out of his break. Ball's in the air there, but accuracy not.
Schaefer Baker, 1 catch for 11 yards so far in this game. Riders are 4 of 6 on 2nd down. That's the situation they find themselves in here. 2nd and 10. Low snap. Fajardo picks it up over the middle. He's got Williams towards the end zone. Is he in? It's close. Little bit of a delay here at Mosaic.
They're saying no.
Just shy.
All scoring or potential scoring plays are reviewed by the command center, so they'll take a look at it.
But give us another look here.
But you see this dig route crosser over the middle, and did he go down by contact before the ball broke the plane? Remember, it's got to be the football.
Cody Fajardo now slides in under center, pushes ahead over the pile, and he's in. Touchdown, Fajardo. Riders open it up a bit here in the 2nd quarter in Mosaic.
Yeah, a little adjustment from Jason Moss, the play caller and offensive coordinator for Saskatchewan. Calling this game, starts this drive with a little swing pass to Jamal Morrow, gets the receivers going in a swing pass to get success on 1st down, get it right down on the doorstep, and Cody Fajardo finishes the drive off.
7-play, 70-yard drive for Fajardo. Lothar comes out for the extra points. And he knocks that one right down the gut. Riders on top, 17-4. Cody Fajardo, if you got him in your fantasy lineup, you like the first part of this football game. He's got 1 through the air, and now he's got 1 on the ground. They're fired up in the stands at Mosaic. Nice smile on the face there of Cody Fajardo with everything he's been dealing with the last little while. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And the Riders offensively have come to play here tonight at home.
I like the play calling from Jason Moss on that last series. He went with a completely different play package. Started out with that little swing pass to Jamal Morrow, and that really got their offense in a rhythm and finished it off with a quarterback sneak.
Shai Ross backed up inside his own 5. Now to the 15-20. Ross stumbles ahead, just shy of the 25 on the return. Nathan Rourke, 4 of 5 for 38 yards, but he finds himself trailing
number 32,
by 13 points on the road here on Friday Night Football.
From Jason Moss on that last series where he starts with the swing pass with Jamal Morrow, something that I know there are some in the media that aren't a big fan of the 1-yard throw, but that's why you do it. You pull the defense closer to the line of scrimmage, you get your playmakers in space, then that dig route to Duke Williams ends up being 7 plays, 70 yards, finished by number 7.
For 17 points so far here in the first half.
Going to have to kick this one over again. It was offside by the Riders on that kickoff after the touchdown, so Nathan Rourke will get better field position.
I'll back him up. They'll now kick this off from the 25. Medvik set to boot it away with just over 10 minutes on the clock here in the opening half. Ross waits for it, a couple steps back, takes it at the 5, back up to the 20, near sideline towards the 30, tackle down, and nowhere to go. Great start for the Riders. For more on that, let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky.
Well, that great start, 10 points in the first quarter, a season high for the Riders, and Cody Fajardo told me that he feels this is a group that's had to really settle in, that fast starts obviously haven't been their hallmark so far this season, but Craig Dickinson said some of that responsibility has to be bared by the coaches as well, that he feels that they needed to do a better job of giving their group plays that they can be successful with early. We heard Suits talk about the play calling of Jason Moss. It's paying off at this point.
Both sides of the ball, impressive for Saskatchewan so far. Rourke, 4 of 5 for 38. Starts here on his own 28. Takes the handoff to Butler. Spins. Nice play. Looks for Whitehead. Bounces it in there. And it falls incomplete. Spin cycle there from the young quarterback.
Quite the move just to avoid the sack and the loss. But, you know, sometimes Rourke has got to pull the ball like this. Like, you can't always give it to James Butler or the defense will not respect it. That's Darnell Sankey who forced him to at least not get the corner and get outside. But how about that spinorama?
After 97 tackles last year, Sankey doesn't miss very much. Still forced to throw to fall incomplete, sets up 2nd and 10 for Rourke. 4 receivers to his left. The pressure coming. Has some time. Has a man wide open up at midfield, and it's Rhymes. He'll take it down into Rider territory. 2nd catch of the game for Dominic Rhymes.
Yeah, blitz coming here from Derek Moncrief, and it was Nathan Rourke creating a throwing lane with his footwork. Moncrief's going to come off the edge from the top right-hand corner of your screen. Here he comes, number 42, and he is clean around the corner, slips and falls, but Rourke steps up, finds a throwing lane, and a 30-yard gain to Dominic Rhymes in between the DBs and the linebacker.
On the Rider 52, quick one to Lucky Whitehead. Whitehead looking for some room on the far side of the field, stays on his feet, takes it down almost all the way to the 35. Getting it in bunches now. That one goes for 16 to Lucky Whitehead.
Rider down on the field. We'll see who is nicked here. Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, now taking a page out of Jason Moss's book. Like that might be Roland Milligan who's down. That quick wide receiver screen to Lucky Whitehead. Yeah, get him the ball. Get number 7 the ball. Great discussion this week with Jordan Maksimic, and the only Canadian-born offensive coordinator in the CFL. Out of St. Albert, just outside of Edmonton.
Was a chat earlier with Maksimic, and this is kind of the offense that he and Rourke are running right now.
Well, they're distributing the ball to all of their targets, and then you add the run game too with Butler at the bottom of that graphic, and you see 167 yards receiving for Butler out of the backfield. Nathan Rourke is assessing information quickly. That's what Jordan Maksimic told us. He said, so far beyond his years, this is only start number 8, and he can understand the information that the defense is giving him in a split second. And they'll give away what they're doing, but can you recognize it? Can you do it quickly? And can you get it out? And that's what Nathan Rourke has done well beyond his years. And Jordan Maksimic said it's a pleasure working with him, and he's worked with some great ones.
Yeah, he has. Michael Riley has a very close relationship with Riley. Of course, Riley here last year mentoring Nathan Rourke. Rourke, near side, has a completion. First catch of the game. See
how quick that was? See how quick Nathan Rourke realized the matchup that he wanted? It was 1-2, bang, ball's gone. 1-2 step, ball out. I mean, it doesn't matter how quick you are off the line of scrimmage. Not even Charleston Hughes can get there if the ball's going to be out of his hands that quickly.
Lions 3 for 7 on 2nd down here in the first half. 2nd and 5 is what they face right here. 3-man pressure might get through. Rourke's got to scramble out to his right, trying to get away. Still on his feet. Now he'll send it down the field. And it falls incomplete, looking for Katoy. And he got his hands on it, but it fell down by his feet.
Boy, Charleston Hughes with a great spin move here. I believe he's working on Kent Perkins, the right tackle. He's going to make this great spin move on the inside. Tried to talk to Joel Figueroa about Charleston Hughes' best moves, and he was reluctant to give us too much of the information. He said, I don't want you guys to talk about it publicly, and then Charleston changes things up. Good inside move there.
Sean White from 38. Oh. Wide right, first miss of the year for Sean White. That'll be brought back by Alford. And he will be taken down just outside the end zone. Sean White now 8 of 9 on the season. BC Lions had to settle for a field goal attempt because of this. Look at that move. Get out of my way, Charleston Hughes. Forcing Rourke out of the pocket, making plays for this Riders defense. Defensive coordinators tonight. For more on their relationship, let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky.
Well, Dustin, they go back years actually to their days with the Ottawa Redblacks back in 2018. Jordan Maximic, is taking over as offensive coordinator, has done a great job with the BC Lions, and we had the chance to speak to him. I asked him about the relationship that he has with Jason Moss. In fact, he said that he is the #1 influence that he has had. Now, Jordan didn't have a conventional rise through the coaching ranks for it, but when I asked Jason Moss about him, he said from the moment that he talked to him in Ottawa, he knew that he could be a successful coach. He's so detail-oriented, has nothing but great things to say about him. And I'll tell you more about him in just a little bit.
Well, he might have been able to draw something up a little bit better there. That's a tough spot to be in. You're on the one.
Yeah, you got to run it. I mean, you don't want to take a sack there, and so you're thinking, if you're Jason Moss, as they were talking about the two, and Sarah mentioning the two, and how Jordan Maximic has learned so much from Moss. I mean, it's the right call for Jason Moss to go fullback and then run the ball, get a little bit of breathing room, but see how Jamal Morrow makes the decision to try and bounce it, because the point of attack is shut down. That gets him behind the goal line again, and now the safety. The BC Lions will get the ball back and 2 points.
Decision of Alford to bring out that missed field goal, put his team in a really tough spot. And now they ended up surrendering a couple.
But, you can't question the call. I mean, you put fullback in there. You want to get 4 or 5 yards.
You just want to kind of push right behind that fullback.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And that was just a decision.
Let's send it back down to Sarah Orlesky to finish that story.
Okay, let me finish it up quickly for you, Dustin, for it. But Jason brought Jordan with him to Edmonton when he was head coach of the Edmonton football team. And it was the relationship that they had for it that's just continued to grow for it. And Jason said, as I mentioned, Jordan is so detail-oriented. He knew he would be a successful coach. He loves seeing it. Now, granted, they're both in the same division, so he's a little bit more cautious about it, but loves to see the success that he's had. And he said it's absolutely no surprise that the Lions are having success with this offense and Jordan at the helm.
Well, Maximic's about to get an opportunity to go to work again, and this ball comes down to Ross. A little spin move to get himself outside the 35, but no further. The BC trailing here by 11. He'll get the ball with 6:48 on the clock.
Yeah, when Sarah mentioned not real conventional journey for Jordan Maximic, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, Nathan Rourke. That's
during the return, holding BC number 2. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down, BC.
His journey being, the last sort of level that he played at and played the game was high school. Usually what you see is offensive coordinators that have played in the Canadian Football League at some point or another that then take over. Jason Moss was a starting quarterback for years. So that usually is sort of the progression for them. So unconventional for Jordan Maximic, but he has learned from Jason Moss. He's learned from Carson Walsh, who came from the Mark Trestman. Basically his system and philosophy. And he said, you know what, I trust my play calls, I trust the play sheet, and it's all about the preparation during the week. And boy, it's been a dynamic offense to watch. Maximic in charge, and this is really only his 20th game as an offensive coordinator.
He's got a quarterback who doesn't have a lot of experience either, but they seem to work very well together. Now the handoff to Butler, takes it up to about the 25. Close to half of what they needed on first down. Campbell and the Lions, they win here today. Their first 5-1 start since 2007. They find themselves in a little bit of a hole right now. High ball, Hatcher goes up in traffic and hauls it in. His second catch of the game goes for 13. There's an injured rider in pain down on the field just outside the 35.
That's Mike Edom, and he's looking at that elbow. We'll take a look. I want to show you a matchup. This is Charleston Hughes. This time it's right tackle Kent Perkins, not Joel Figueroa. Hughes is usually to the short side of the field, so the ball in the hash mark, he's on the short side. And that time Kent Perkins, he wins. He shuts him down. Watch one of the premier pass rushers in the game's history get his game plan together. He's got his eyes upfield, looking at what move he wants to make, but he hesitates. Perkins shuts him down, and that allows Rourke to complete right over the middle. Now let's see what happened to Edom, who, well, it looks like he got his arm caught in between Darnell Sankey and the hit on Keon Hatcher.
Sankey doesn't hit lightly. In cross. And right there, upper arm, shoulder area.
Well, Mike Edom's having an all-star caliber season too at the free safety, so hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. I'd say he and Tunde Adeleke are the top two guys so far this year at that position.
Edom last week, 5 tackles, had a sack as well, a couple sacks in the year. 27 tackles, knocked down, has an interception as well, and now he's down on a knee on the sideline in pain. First and 10 for the Lions on their own 38, trailing 17-6 at Mosaic. They'll toss it out to Butler. He takes it out to the 45, hit heavily, but a nice pickup on first down for 24.
Yeah, one way to slow down a premier pass rusher is to run the ball at him. So basically, you don't try and necessarily run away, because sometimes, like Charleston Hughes, can be so quick that they can run it down. So why not just run right at him and make the premier pass rusher a run stopper?
Second and 3 now. 3 receivers to the right for Rourke. Back to Butler again, wrapped up immediately and taken down by Jaden Dalkey.
He played
tackle for a loss.
Sorry, Dustin, he played the play. I mean, the late Don Matthews used to say in our defensive huddle, sometimes you don't worry about your assignment. If you know what the play is, go ahead and play the play. Just go ahead and you see the play. You've done your film work, so you're not guessing. You know what they're going to do, and just go make the play. Exactly what Dalkey did.
Former University of Alberta Golden Bear, Jaden Dalkey, 54th overall pick in 2022. 51-yard kick brought back up by Mario Alford to about the 25-yard line. Well, Friday Night Football, it's trivia time. Who holds the Friday Night Football single game passing yards record?
Well, there's some candidates. I mean,
the ball was in flight.
AC's got to be a candidate in that group. Ricky Ray's got to be a candidate.
10-yard penalty.
I mean, Doug Flutie
I was
could be
going
in
to say
that.
Doug Flutie could be a candidate.
Man, that's a good one. That is a good one. I might go with Ricky Ray.
I'm gonna Google it and then pretend I knew it all along. That's what I'm gonna do. Ricky Ray, Ricky had some big games.
Don't Google, man. You got to stop it. When you get older, it's important to not Google everything.
Well, I have more knowledge when I'm older.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, exactly. But you also got to keep the brain working.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's important too.
It's just if you Google everything, your brain stops working. Not to mention you start to see your own truth rather than the real truth.
Cody Fajardo backed up here after a penalty. So poor field position once again for the Riders. Just over 4 minutes to play, and they lead 17-6 here in the second quarter at home. Fajardo to his right, looking over there for Williams, and he was able to haul it in and get his feet in before he was pushed out of bounds by TJ Lee.
Yeah, different strategy. When they're backed up on their own 2-yard line, they tried to go run. So Jason Moss says, you know what, let's get Cody Fajardo outside of that pressure so he can run or throw the ball. Gives him 2 options. He chose to hit Duke Williams. Great accuracy on the throw.
Second catch of the game for Williams. Been targeted 5 times, hauled in a couple for 22 yards. 2nd and 4 now for Fajardo. Up to his own 13, 3 receivers to his right. Looks to his right, throws to his right, and that one through the hands of Kean Schaefer Baker. Would have been enough for a first down, and instead they'll have to kick it away.
You remember that one? Sometimes we said early in the first quarter, sometimes you just miss a throw, and Cody had missed an out throw. Sometimes the receiver just drops the ball, and that's exactly Keon Schaefer Baker did there. He wants that one back.
3 touchdowns already this season, had 2 in all of 2021.
Having a great year.
Timeout, BC.
Leading his team in receptions and yards.
Targets as well. They're not messing around with Schaefer Baker this year, getting him involved heavily. Lots to discuss coming up at the half. Kate, the panel.
And Big Daddy, Grandpa, Big Daddy Dunnigan. Congrats, my friends. That's awesome.
This will be kicked away. Edvik, good field position coming here. 47-yard kick. Nowhere to go on the return. Let's get an answer.
Come on,
Friday
Ricky Ray.
Night Football trivia. Is it Doug Flutie?
Come on, Ricky Ray. Come on, Ricky Ray. Oh, it's Jason Moss.
Come on. How do we not see that one coming?
During the return,
You got us there.
holding BC number 23. The 10-yard penalty.
540 yards passing. Sometimes you go the conventional route where you played in the league and then become an offensive coordinator. You know, this all made a whole lot of sense. If we would have stopped Googling and started thinking again.
It was right in front of us the entire time. There he is. 22 straight completions in that game for eventually 540 yards.
You told me not to think. A line from the movie you finally went and watched.
I did. I went and watched the new Top Gun movie. You've been telling me to watch for a month, and I have to say, you were right. It was awesome. Here's Rourke. And that is batted down. The big arm of DeMarcus Christmas getting in the way again. Second knockdown of the game for Christmas.
Yeah, he's trying to catch Willie Jefferson, who actually leads the league. Leads the league in knockdowns, the defensive end position. Has 50 sacks and 50 knockdowns. We'll see him tomorrow night in Willie Jefferson. No other player in the history of the league has that. Marcus Christmas taking a page out of that book.
2nd and 10 for Rourke. Has a completion far side of the field. Won't be enough. Found Scarpone, but he was once again wrapped up. The Riders have not missed many tackles so far here tonight. And because of that, they have a 17-6 lead as we hit the 3-minute mark of the first half on a Friday night at Mosaic.
Hi, welcome to
Yep, it's been all Riders so far, so we're going to talk all Riders. We're going to give Morrow a little love, Charleston Hughes, the defense, and have you guys heard there's a big game tomorrow night? I need more enthusiasm than this panel.
Yeah, we're going to need them to be a little bit more excited for that game tomorrow. We're going to be there doing it. I know I'm pretty excited for that one.
It's the calm before the storm, as we like to say.
Last game was terrific between those two clubs. Now this one will bounce all the way down into the end zone.
Alfred got the instructions after bringing it out to the 1.
Well, the Riders have been dominant. There's no other way to say it in their head-to-head battle against BC over the last little while.
Boy, is that ever the truth? 8-0. Take a look at those numbers. Last time BC beat Saskatchewan was in BC on August 17th. That game, Travis Lulay was the starting quarterback. Last time to win here was back in October of 16, and the quarterback for BC that night, John Jennings.
Wow. Now you're dialing it back a little bit here. Yeah. Long way to go in this one, just down 10. But Fajardo will look for more here. 95 yards, 8 of 13, and a touchdown for Fajardo. Dumps it off. Williams, what a tackle. Wrapped up immediately at the 40 by Marcus Sales.
We're seeing good tackling.
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides. We're seeing real good tackling from DBs, linebackers. Good form tackles. Some of these plays trying to get, Duke Williams has a chance here. He gets the ball, turns the corner, has a chance to try and make a guy miss, make a move on Sales, and Sales keeps that low center of gravity, keeps his feet moving, and drives through the receiver.
3 receivers to the right here for Fajardo, working from his own 41. Steps up, hammered, and is able to hang on to the ball as he is popped by Guachum. And for Guachum, his second sack of the season.
A long way around. They put Luchez Purefoy, the former Rider, up in the line as if he may come on a blitz but doesn't. Inside pass rushing, Guachum got there. He just has to be careful not to get a taunting call after the fact.
Little standover there, hey?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Quick little look. Got away with that one.
Quick little look. Shai Ross waits for this back at his own 25. Edvik was waiting to kick it away.
Procedure, Saskatchewan number 30. It's a 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
It's an interesting 5 yards because any kind of a return here, and Nathan Rourke's going to have some time to at least get field goal range. Important 3 points and just a little bit of momentum going in at halftime.
Edvik averaging just over 45 yards per kick this season. Lets this go from just inside his 20. Ross, eyes on it, slides underneath it at the 32, near sideline, and he's got nowhere to go. Torpedo down the field was Nick Daly, and he wrapped him up. BC's got 7 points so far tonight. Not very conventional, though, I don't think.
3 by field goal, a safety by their defense with Mario Alford bringing it out to the 1, although when you bring it out and have the week before 113-yard missed field goal return,
you're allowed to do that?
Yeah, you get the green light every now and then. Missed field goal and a punt single. It's a 7 points.
Still time to strike for more. 1:42 on the clock. 4 receivers wide side left for Rourke. That's where he's going to look, and he's going to go down the field for Hatcher, and he hauls it in down at the 35. Biggest of the game for Keon Hatcher, and the Lions are in business late.
Layered seam routes here as Hatcher's here, and they're going to try and pull with Rhymes to get a little bit of hesitation back there on the back end, and then Hatcher blocks out nicely. He's going one-on-one against Amari Henderson, who ends up picking him up down the field and blocks him out for 40 yards.
Third catch of the game for Hatcher. He's got 58 yards, a huge chunk of them coming right there. Just over 1 minute and 20 on the clock for Rourke. A ton of time. Completion again, down inside the 25 as he goes back. Scarfone for his second catch of the game. Did not have a catch coming into the game tonight.
And stick with the game plan now at 1 minute 16. Plenty of time to stick with the game plan. Can even get James Butler. They like James Butler in the red zone, which they're knocking on the door of right now.
It was 11 yards, good for a first down. They'll give it to Butler this time. Tries to cut it back, and he does. Down inside the 15, stays on his feet, and eventually is tackled at about the Rider 14 for a pickup of around 8 yards.
A little change motion here to try and freeze the defense. Butler from the left to right. Really nice cut back into the middle when he sees Nick Marshall flash from the corner position. Butler with 29 yards on 8 carries.
2nd and 2. They'll just push that line ahead, looking for the first down.
Change up in the defense for Saskatchewan. They've got Moncrief, and I've seen him drop back and play. Remember, Mike Edom was hurt a couple series ago, so he has not returned.
Moncrief around?
Yeah, 6'2", 220-pound Derek Moncrief. Such a great athlete. He could play safety, probably play corner, put him out there, he'd be fine. There he is back there playing safety.
30 seconds on the clock for Rourke. Hatcher again towards the end zone, stopped just short. Riders defense got there just in time after a pickup of 11.
Well, we showed you that graphic where Nathan Rourke has been distributing the ball to all of his targets, and Keon Hatcher has done a real good job replacing Brian Burnham, who should be back next game for BC.
Ball on the Rider 1, Rourke to keep it, trying to push ahead. Did he find the way home? Stopped short. That'll bring up 2nd down with 15 seconds on the clock.
So when they take James Butler and flash him out of the backfield, they're hoping, the Lions, that a linebacker will go with them, like Darnell Sankey or Larry Dean. If they don't, then it's a wall you got to try to break through.
Rourke will get a second crack at it this time. Up over the pile, and he's in. Touchdown, Nathan Rourke, his 4th on the ground this season, and the BC Lions cut into the lead just before halftime.
Yeah, all momentum for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at home, 17 points up. We showed you how BC sort of really unconventionally had scored 7 points with a safety and a field goal and a punt single and all of those things. But you relax in this game for one drive, and it's in your end zone that quickly. And right just like that, Nathan Rourke's got himself some momentum. And with the convert here, it's a 3-point football game.
Rourke is 12 of 16 for 170 yards through the air, and then has that touchdown now on the ground. Sean White out for the extra point. And he puts it home to cap off a 7-play, 73-yard scoring drive for Rourke and the BC Lions. And as Glenn said, we've got a 3-point ball game, kind of living up to the hype these two teams here.
Absolutely, and 70% of the games in the CFL this year have been decided in the final 3 minutes. We're sort of heading in that direction, aren't we? Here's what happens if you think you're going to go in at halftime with the big lead and then and relax for the final minute in a Canadian Football League game. It'll be in your end zone within that minute. I guarantee you. That was the Hatcher catch. James Butler, a nice cutback, and then on the second try, Nathan Rourke in the end zone.
Yeah, they wasted no time. Hatcher, a big part of that drive, now has 69 yards of 4 catches here in the first half. And we'll see how the Riders regroup after allowing some points late in the second quarter. And now the panel's going to have to change things up too.
Yeah.
Wintoff set to kick it away from the 30. Alford watches. Does he have a trick up his sleeve here late in the quarter? Back to the 30. Alford stopped just beyond the 35. Gang tackled and taken down with just a couple of seconds left on the clock. Fajardo, 9 of 14 for 96 and a touchdown. Rourke, 12 of 16 for 170. Jamal Morrow making some plays for the Riders, and Keon Hatcher on the other side of the ball through the air for the Lions.
Yeah, when I think of the Jamal Morrow run, that 28-yarder was early in the first quarter. He has 6 for 39, but you know, if I'm the Saskatchewan Roughriders going into halftime, probably thinking about that. Like, how do we get Jamal Morrow more involved? Because we kind of forgot about him in that second quarter.
Friday night football matchup between the BC Lions and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Excellent first half. They're going to break it down right now. So let's send it back to the studio with Kate and the panel.
And that panel is David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel. And you're right, Dustin, we did have to change things up. We were going to talk all Riders all the time, and then that 73-yard drive did this, and then we move along the show. We will get to that in just a moment, but for...
CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday night football tonight.
BC Lions trailing 17-14 at the half at Mosaic. TJ Lee is with our Sarah Orleski.
TJ, when you look at this Riders offense, what's the key to slowing them down in the second half?
We got to stop the run on first down and then play the sticks on second down. Get off the field. Easy as that.
What was the mood in the locker room at the half?
We've seen everything they got, you know. We need to come out and make our plays, though. And if everybody win their one-on-ones, we're going to win. Special teams is doing good. We just got to get offense going, and defense needs to stay stout and make turnovers.
Appreciate the time.
Yep. I mean, game-changing plays. That's what we want to do.
Game-changing plays in game 100 for TJ Lee. Team leading 3 tackles in the first half for TJ Lee.
I like how he just wanted to be clear on one. I want to be clear on something. Game-changing plays.
It'll be the Lions defense that'll go to work first here as Windhoff is set to kick it away. What are you expecting in the second half here?
Well, I expect to get back to the sort of the fundamentals, little run game on first down, probably from Jamal Morrow. We'll see.
Mary Alford takes it just inside his own 20, looking for a hole on the near sideline. Not going to happen. He is forced out of bounds by Josh Woods, and Cody Fajardo will come out here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, good news for Saskatchewan is that Cody Fajardo, and again, I'll knock on wood here, but Cody Fajardo's knee looks okay. It looked fine. It was concern of that coming in. He's got the brace on. His accuracy was there. Nice back shoulder throw on the short fade to Jones, and then got the quick game going. Now the other side of the news, 9 of 14, 96 yards, under 100 yards passing in the first half.
4 receivers, wide side right to start here. That's where he's going to go. He has a completion to start the half as he gets it to Justin McInnes. Second catch of the game for McInnes.
Yeah, back in the lineup after missing a game. Boy, they were hit hard. There was COVID protocols, there was some suspensions, there was starting to get some guys back, and Kyron Moore is very close to returning as well.
Big boost for this offense as well. There's another completion, and a nice job by McInnes to hang on to that as he was hit basically exactly where they had to go to get a first down.
You know, when TJ Lee said to Sarah, then, you know, on second down we want to play right to the sticks. Well, the sticks are right here. That's the sticks. Watch TJ Lee do exactly what he told Sarah. I'm going to play right to the sticks, so when I see him sit down there right at the first down marker, that's where I make the tackle.
1st and 10 on the Rider 48 for Fajardo. Hands it off this time. Is there anywhere to go for Jamal Morrow? Not really. Dukes his way for a couple of yards on first down.
So now the sticks for TJ Lee becomes 2 yards in front of the first down marker stick. That's what he's meaning. And that last one, he played the sticks but right at it, and it gave enough for Saskatchewan to get a new set of downs. So now you want to tighten up just a little bit more so that you're playing 2 yards in front of the first down marker. So there's a tackle that was right at the sticks. Forward progress got the first down. Right there, you want to play it 2 yards short of that.
Fajardo pressured, not going to get this one off. They will get home and wrap him up for the sack. Matthew Betts, second sack of the season for the first-year BC Lions.
Straight four-man pressure, but a real good inside move on Rogers.
That's one way to get the ball back. Vedvik stands at his own 30. Shai Ross awaits the kick at the BC Lion 15-yard line. First possession of the half will come up empty for the Riders. Towering kick will eventually bounce at the 30. And a quick hop right into the arms of Ross after a 40-yard kick from Vedvik. Matthew Betts didn't have a sack last year at Edmonton, but he's got a couple already this season for the BC Lions as he fits in well with his new club. Welcome back to Regina. A little bit of history tonight for Charleston Hughes as he moves up into a tie for 5th most career quarterback stats.
Yeah, just last week he just tied John Bowman, who was on the BC Lions sideline and was one away from Mumford. Got that strip sack earlier in this one, so he's tied with Joe Mumford and trying to track down James Quick Parker.
As a tackle, a sack, and a forced fumble so far here tonight. Rourke was the 40th quarterback that Hughes has sacked in his career. Down the field, going up and getting it again is Hatcher, and he hauls it in at the BC 50. 21 yards.
Nice touch on this throw. Sometimes quarterbacks got to zip it in there and, you know, fit it into a tight window. Sometimes you want to put a little air on it, on a deep ball certainly, and then there's those ones that you got to just kind of caress into that soft spot between the secondary and the linebacking core. Keon Hatcher doesn't know where the defender is, so he's protecting the football as if he's right behind him.
5 catches, 90 yards, best of the game. Hatcher on either side of the ball. Oh, nice footwork here by Rourke, gets it away, and he's got a completion on the Riders' side of the field. 3rd catch of the game for Scarfone, but how impressive was that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we talked to Nathan Rourke this week, I asked him about how much he works on just the straight fundamentals with Jordan Maximic, and he said, you know, our offense is so footwork oriented that I am constantly working on my footwork. Watch Derek Moncrief free off the edge and then little hop inside, great feet, reset, and get the ball out.
Now you see me, now you don't. Now he'll step up under center, pushing ahead. Look to me, and that's right below us. Looked like he had enough for a first down there.
And Moncrief goes back to the fundamentals now, too, in his mind. I guarantee he's walking back and forth, back to the huddle going, don't jump when you're blitzing the quarterback. Do not bite on a pump fake and jump, because as soon as you jump, you can't redirect.
Looked like Steph Curry setting up for a 3, and the defender just goes flying by every time.
Exactly.
Step around and make a play, and that's what Rourke did. Made another one, which sets up the first down for them here on the Rider 50, trailing by 3. 3 receivers to the left, now 3 to the right for Rourke. 200 yards passing in the game, 6 wide is what they go with here. He gets it to Lucky Whitehead. Whitehead knocked down, maybe a little friendly fire there, but picks up 6 yards on the first down play.
Yeah, this is an adjustment by Jordan Maximic because it's reading Larry Dean, the linebacker. If Larry Dean is going to be free and decide to go ahead and go after the quarterback there, then that little hitch pass to Whitehead goes right where Larry Dean usually lines up. Now, if Larry Dean stays and drops, he goes and tackles Whitehead, and maybe Rourke holds the ball and goes a little deeper with it.
They need 4 more for a fresh set. Butler out into the slot to the left. Rourke looks, has Butler over to his left. Now he's on the run. Down the field, a completion inside the 30. And it's back to Scarfone again, who's having a game here, getting an opportunity with the rest of this outstanding BC Lions receiving core. 18 yards there for Scarfone.
Boy, I'm enjoying watching this, the footwork from Nathan Rourke tonight. I mean, just recognizing an inside pass rush move and that he might be able to get the edge, and those quick feet get him outside, and then again, setting up to reload with an accurate throw.
Lions marching down to the Rider 26. This time they'll give it to the running back. Butler stays on his feet, made a couple of men miss, and eventually tracked down just before he got to the Saskatchewan 20.
It's been tough slugging for him tonight. James Butler just 9 carries, just over 30 yards so far tonight. But again, this is the #1 rush defense in the league. Allowed just about 74 yards a game. And as you mentioned, that's after 143 against Andrew Harris last week that added to their total and still kept them #1 in the league.
Yeah, a number like that's going to blow it up a bit for sure. 2nd and 6. 3 wide side right. for Rourke. Looks to his left. Now comes over the middle. Cotoy has it, and he's got a first down for the visitors.
You know, when you talk to Jordan Maxime, you talk to Nathan Rourke, they all bring up Javon Cotoy. You know, and it's not even as if we're asking about Javon necessarily at that moment, but they all come up with, you know, we got to get the ball to him more. There's a lot of players that don't want to tackle Cotoy.
We'd like to welcome our viewers joining us on TSN 5. You got here just in time. Lions looking to strike, down by 3, 7 to play in the third quarter. Rourke has time here. He's got a ton of time. Looking down the field, nowhere to go. Now he's going to dump it off. One-handed by Rhymes to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown and a beauty. Dominic Rhymes hauls it in and takes it to the house.
All kinds of time from the offensive line for Nathan Rourke to stand back there, have himself a latte with 3 shots and oat milk. Just hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. That's the 4th read, and now we're just scramble rules almost, but I'm still in the pocket, and Dominic Rhymes finds it and then stabs it with one hand. Oh, what a play by Dominic Rhymes.
Laid out to get it, too. Kept those feet up in the air, finishing off an 8-play, 81-yard drive. 5th touchdown of the year for Rhymes, who had just 411 yards and a touchdown in injury-riddled season last year. And now he's closing in on 500 yards already, 5 touchdowns as well. And he's had some spectacular ones. Put this one on the resume as he hauls it in one-handed, lays it out to get home. BC Lions on top, 21-17.
Class rookie taking out bullies in my all-black hoodie. Man of mystery, you know the history. Get it.
Dominic Rhymes caught all 3 balls thrown his way, but this one the biggest.
He has the crossing route underneath, and Nathan Rourke read that one a couple of times, but he didn't like what he saw there. He went into Sankey's. Now stop it here, guys, because this is where Rhymes says, okay, now the time is up. I've got a scramble rule. Even though my quarterback's still in the pocket, I got to find a scramble, find the hole. He does that, stabs it with one hand, only needed one, and dives into the end zone.
Lions now with a 4-point lead will kick this away. Alford takes it cleanly at his own 16. Near sideline, stays on his feet, back out to about the 40, and no further. BC Lions, they were trailing at one point, 17-4. They have changed that. Rourke through the air, finding Rhymes for the touchdown. Are they line dancing? It's country music night in Regina.
Welcome to
the most talented home cooks return for a shot at redemption on an all-new MasterChef Back to Win Wednesday, 8-9 Mountain, only on CTV. Set your PVR so you can later enjoy it at your own convenience. Fajardo, 6.5 to play in the third quarter. 107 yards passing. Rourke on the other side, 246. He's going to be passing here. That's batted down, almost picked off after the deflection. But it does fall incomplete. Ben Alatic right in his face.
Yeah, Alatic lines up off the edge, and we've seen a couple of Saskatchewan knockdowns tonight. Here's one for the BC Lions, and he almost redirected and got to that. Wanted to make sure that Fajardo couldn't recover it and run with it, but
Alatic getting an opportunity to start with Lacombo out. 3 to the left, 3 to the right, but pressure right up the middle. There's a flag as Fajardo takes off, tripped up from behind and taken down by Tehema.
yeah, and this could be holding anyway against Saskatchewan because the interior lineman, the interior D lineman for the BC Lions basically read the snap count.
Saskatchewan, number 64. That penalty's declined. Third down.
I think it was David Menard who got the great get off from the interior of the line right here. David Menard's anticipating the snap count, and just as it's being snapped, he's out of his stance. That causes the holding call on Evan Johnson.
Excellent jump there from Menard.
Those are one of the plays where a holding might have saved a big hit on Cody Fajardo.
Vedvik stands at his 30. Clock ticks down as he waits to kick this away to Shai Ross. Ross contained in the return game so far tonight. See if he can bust one here. He's going to run under this ball at the 25, 43-yard kick. Ross now near side of the field, nowhere to go. He is wrapped up and taken down. In the early parts of this game, it was the Riders defense that was the difference. BC Lions defense stepping up now. Sione Tehema tracking down Fajardo on the play. Impressed with that man, Nathan Rourke. For more on one of his teammates who likes him a lot, let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky.
Yeah, try to find me someone, Dustin, that hasn't been impressed by Nathan Rourke so far this season when you look at what he's been able to do. The straw that stirs the drink, according to Craig Dickinson when asked about the opposing quarterback. Now, one thing that Nathan said is that he's still having to adjust to navigating all of this. He loves playing football, loves his teammates. It's not all about the attention, though. And one of the things that you hear when you speak to teammates or coaches is the lack of ego that he has, how impressed they are. The fact that he prepares, and this is one I love, he prepares as if he's trying to become the starter with the work ethic that he's showing. Now, Darnell Sankey was asked about trying to stop Rourke and what the key is, and he said that being a young quarterback, he doesn't have an established identity. What he does one game, he might not do the next. Makes it a little bit more of a challenge. The key for this Riders defense, focus on the fundamentals.
Rourke's going to start here. There's a flag, though, which will give us time to add to what Sarah said about he doesn't have social media.
Procedure.
No. Which
BC,
yeah, and
number 50.
I don't know how he wastes all of his time.
Well, he's 24 years old, so any 24-year-old listening right now will say, what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And he's been that way for like 6 years.
Yeah, he locks in. Joel Figueroa had told us that, you know, the offensive line is just so impressed with how, first of all, they're working together, led by Kelly Bates, but that Nathan Rourke has put all of that other stuff aside. He is the first guy in the room, and he is working every day.
First and 15 here, and he's going to look down the field. That was Hatcher. It would have been a spectacular catch if he hauled that one in over his shoulder.
Think about that for a second, though, where we are in the world right now, and giving up social media and saying, like, this is not, I ignore it sometimes or I put my phone down sometimes. He's not on it, period.
Doesn't know about the Instagrams and the TikToks.
Yeah, he's watching video so that his guys up front will play like this and play hard and keep him clean in the pocket. And they're impressed with the young man, I guarantee you that.
This Hatcher on that last one, he's hit him 5 times tonight. Will he look his way again? Second and 15 for Rourke. Some pressure coming from the Riders. Far side, and he does go to Hatcher. Tried to cut it back.
What a tackle.
And eventually they will just hang on and not let him go anywhere. Moncrief had him locked down.
Well, and again, this is a second tackle by Derek Moncrief in space. One was against James Butler early in the first half, but this one, there is tons of room for Hatcher. He gets it real early so he can turn. And how many times do you see the receiver win that battle on a cutback? He only needed 3 more yards. Moncrief held him short. That was one great tackle in the open field.
Does put Hatcher over, well, right at 100 yards in this ball game on 6 catches. 3rd and 5, they'll kick it away. Flintoff, low kick this time. That will bounce just inside the 40 and roll out of bounds on the play. MLS on TSN heats up tomorrow. Look who it is!
Yeah, Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the football fan. New England takes on Toronto FC, while Nashville goes up against the Whitecaps. Both games kick off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN.
Sometimes it's not easy being green.
Look at those track men. Very comfortable he is tonight, supporting his team that trails by 4. Fajardo guns that one in there, and they've got a first down to Duke Williams. For Williams, his 4th catch of the game.
A lot happening on this play. A little fake to Jamal Morrow up front. Try to freeze the linebackers a little bit, and then right over the top on the quick slant as Cody moves one way, he's thrown back against the flow. Duke Williams
gets that ball out to the Rider 47. Just over 3 minutes to play. 3rd quarter. Williams behind his quarterback, now over wide side slot to the left of Fajardo. And they're going to dump it off and try to set up a screen for Morrow. Bobbled it, was able to haul it in. Stays on his feet and pushes it up towards midfield. Give him bonus points for effort from Jamal Morrow.
Low pad level. Keep the shoulder pads low. If you keep the shoulder pads low as a tailback, you get out in the screen. You can tell from the receivers on that side of the field, it looked like Justin McInnis was breaking down just to make a block downfield and trying to help out his tailback, but see the pad level staying down so the tacklers are just falling off.
Gave him 7. Leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Back to him again. This time he cuts it up the middle, and that'll go for a 1st down in the hands of Jamal Morrow.
Yeah, good patience here from Jamal Morrow. He showed you some speed and the ability to shed some tacklers with his shoulder pads. Now there's patience here. Let the guys develop their blocks. Let the play develop down the field a little bit. Get a push from Rogers, the right tackle. Little bubble to get the 1st down.
Tehema eventually wrapped him up. Near side, back to Williams. He's wrapped up, but plunges ahead as he had Sales around his ankles.
Another good tackle by Sales. He ran into the right over here at Cornwall Center. The ball right beside our hotel. Ran into Ryan Phillips over there and talked a little bit about his defense. Feels like they've got the ceiling. They're not close to the ceiling yet. They're playing great. They're confident. He loves the veteran back end, and said, but we got lots of room to grow.
Look for a big play here. 2nd and 5. They're going to bring some heat. Fajardo running for his life now. Will they get there? They do. They take him down heavily as Fajardo ran out of room to run, and he gets taken down.
Yeah, this is an example here, I think, Dustin, of where the knee brace actually hampers Cody Fajardo's ability to throw on the run, especially when he's going this direction. Now he's got to try and flip his hips around and get that wonky knee out in front of the throw.
A lot of pressure to put on that knee.
To use that to get that torque that he would need, and that's why I think he was so frustrated there. He just couldn't physically get his body around.
Kipo Dubaya eventually tracking him down. This kick, not a great one.
Penalty,
from Bedvik. And the last thing you want to do if you're the Riders right now is help out the BC Lions in any way late in the 3rd quarter.
Illegal punt out of bounds. Saskatchewan number 70. It's a 10-yard penalty. 1st down BC.
Take a look at the unorthodox drop, although we see it quite often. I know John Ryan has done it, the former Saskatchewan punter, and they can get that backspin when they drop it point down. And Craig Dickinson said, what was that? What exactly was that?
It's a really wide field.
That was quite the expression, wasn't it?
Here's Rourke. Has some time again, and he's got Catoy. Catoy stays on his feet and eventually is tracked down right near midfield.
See what I mean about just the tacklers that try to just knock Catoy down. But he is big and strong. I mean, 6'5", 230 pounds. But he is strong out of the backfield, strong on that little curl. Now watch, this is Darnell Sankey. Sankey throws his 245 pounds right at him and kind of bounced off.
Rourke's at 276 yards, 20 of 25 as we near the end of quarter number 3. They'll hand it off to Butler, and he's taken down after getting maybe a yard on first down. Miles Brown there to upend him at midfield, and that is where the fourth quarter of this game will start. And it is the BC Lions, who trailed at half, now head into the fourth quarter with a lead on the road. They are up 21-17 on the Riders. BC Lions have lost 8 in a row to the Riders. Right now, they're in the driver's seat, leading 21-17.
Well, 276 yards passing for Nathan Rourke. In the first quarter and early in the game, Charleston Hughes was providing a ton of pressure and was winning the battles between Ken Perkins and Joel Figueroa. And there's been 36 defensive plays. Our stats guy, Lenny, has been tracking it for us. And 36 defensive plays, 18 against Figueroa. In the third quarter, we didn't talk much about Charleston Hughes. He's still 38 years old. And they've got to try and get pressure on Nathan Rourke because he's really settled in and completing the football.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, that Riders defense early in this game really made an impact, had the turnover that led to that Fajardo touchdown to Tevin Jones. But since then, Riders offense, not a lot of great field position to start drives. I wonder if the defense has a play up their sleeves here as we start the fourth quarter at Mosaic. Rourke, he's going to take a deep shot right away. He's got Rhymes, and he hauls it in just inside the 20. No, incomplete. Popped out. There's a flag back in midfield. Fireworks to start quarter number 4.
See what the flag is, but that's back-to-back plays by Amari Henderson if this stands.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Saskatchewan number 91. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Anthony Lanier. Take a look at his path to the quarterback. He goes out and around, and I don't know about that one.
This time they'll get it out to Whitehead. He is wrapped up. What a tackle by Moncrief. Lucky was going nowhere.
That was a knockdown by Amari Henderson down the field. I just want to go back and take one more look at that roughing the passer. This has been sort of let's say, an inconsistent call over the last couple of weeks. I talked to Darren Hackwood about roughing the passer and the standard, and it really hasn't changed from the start of the year. I guess it was just that throw at the end around the waist was fine, but throwing him down as he rolled was where he drew the flag.
2nd and 11. Crowd trying to get in the head of Rourke. Moves it quickly, and he's got a completion to Hatcher, who rolls his way ahead, but will still be short of a first down.
Another tackle by Moncrief. This linebacking core, they came in 1 and 2, Larry Dean and Darnell Sankey. 1 and 2 for defensive plays. Up there in the top 4 for defensive tackles. Dean has made 8. Sankey has made 7 already tonight. And Derek Moncrief is climbing that ladder too at 4. He's made some plays in the open field, some big tackles with a lot of space around him.
Sean White, 1 of 2 tonight. Knocked one home from 16 yards. This one a 39-yard attempt from the left hash. And never in doubt. White quickly off the field. Lions on top 24-17 at Mosaic on Friday Night Football.
Okay, family, we want to.
The electronic people quit. The electronics quit. They ready to go.
Not that I condone this, but if you were to run on the field like that guy, how many?
Nobody's catching it. Don't miss next week's CFL Wired episode, bringing you exclusive access to the latest CFL highlights. Catch it Wednesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on TSN. Fajardo starts on his own 40 here, down 24-17. And not a bad idea to get the ball into the hands of Schaefer Baker, who's had a little bit of a quiet night.
Yeah, back-to-back quiet nights, which is probably not a good thing. You got to get the ball to guys that can make it happen. He's one of the top players in the league in yards after the catch.
Second and 4 now for Fajardo. 4 receivers to his right. Looks to the left. Now comes over to Williams. And that's in his hands and out of his hands. And it falls incomplete. Brings up third down. Couple tonight.
Yeah, and your number one guy's got to make that catch. I mean, it's as simple as that. Duke Williams, it was blitz pressure, a little bit behind him, but Duke Williams makes that catch 9 out of 10, and Fajardo goes, you know, he'll take responsibility for it not being as accurate as it could be, but star receivers, you got to make those catches.
Williams has caught just 50% of the balls that have been thrown his way so far this year. Ross takes it at the 25, back up to about the 30 before he's taken down. Rourke with a 7-point lead has the ball when we return to Mosaic. When you look at dynamic duels around the league, Sankey and Dean have had terrific starts to this season. For more on that, let's send it down to Sarah Orleski.
They absolutely have, Dustin. In fact, both of them right now on pace to hit or eclipse the 100 tackle mark for this season. If that holds true, they would become just the second duo off of the same team to do it in the same season. The last ones are the only other ones. Adam Bighill and Solomon Elamimian, who did it with the BC Lions back in 2016. Defensive coordinator Jason Shiver says you can't really overestimate what these two have meant for it. They hit it off from the beginning. They have meant so much for this defense in terms of setting the tone, leading the way in terms of their veteran leadership.
They've combined for 15, make it 16 tackles tonight. Yep. Perfect timing there from Sankey.
Sankey heard you say it, Sarah, and he said, well, let me show you what I mean by these. Inspiration to flow to the football. This is scraping to make the tackle by the middle linebacker on the tailback. And then when you get there, you just kind of ragdoll him a little bit.
Lots to talk about Sankey. Nima Moncrief in that group as well, and he's made some big plays so far here tonight. 2nd and 8 for Rourke. Far side of the field. Back to Rhymes again, and 19 hauls it in cleanly.
What a great throw. To just knife it out there. I mean, far side of the field, still 65 yards wide, even though the hash marks are moved in a few yards. That is still a long throw. It was accurate, it was on time, and if it's not on time, it's going the other way to the house.
Well, lots of people talking about Dean and Sankey, including their head coach Craig Dickinson. Here's what he had to say.
First of all, they're great workers. Both of them work very hard, and they're consummate professionals. They take the game very seriously. They study. They look at a lot of film. They take care of their bodies. They eat well. And the third thing is they really love football. I think it is who they are in a lot of ways. I think football drives them, motivates them. I think it's where they get their joy. And I think what you're seeing is just two grown men that love the game and will do what they need to do to pay the price and to be as good as they can be.
Both great inspirational leaders. And Moncrief, 3 picks on the season. Riders need a pick now.
Here's Rourke, 1st and 10 on the 47. He's got Lucky Whitehead on 1st down, takes it outside the BC 50, and Rourke is over 300 yards passing for the 3rd time this season.
Larry Dean going to work right after we show the graphics. Sankey showed us a tackle when Sarah mentioned it. We continue on, and Dean says, here, I'll show you what I do.
Nine tackles for Dean. Sankey's been an impact player since the moment he stepped on the field in Calgary last year. Here's Rourke now, 2nd and 5. Gets it away, has a completion, and that good push ahead will make it close. It'll make it close here, just under 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, this is where coaches get over there and they start looking like they're lining up a putt. how close are we? And both Darnell Sankey and Larry Dean, they race to that tackle. There's 53 and there's 11.
Milligan in there as well, who's having a nice season. Almost 30 tackles coming into this game.
Big.
Steps up here, 3rd and 1. Does he get that yard? Looks like it. Flags on the play as well, as Rourke did find a path to a first down. Flag against the Riders. Either way.
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 91. 5-yard penalty, first down BC.
Yeah, big 10 yards here, because 10 yards for the BC Lion offense right now puts them in Sean White's field goal range, make it a 2-possession game at the very least. So there's 10 yards that are crucial right now.
Work from the Rider 49. Butler takes it, finds a hole. Butler trying to stay on his feet. He's got a first down inside the 35, close to the 30 by the time they stop him. And for Butler, it's 18, his biggest play of the game.
Yeah, almost like the Riders thought this was going to be play action and that Rourke would keep it, and he ended up just handing it straight off tackle to basically a zone read type of play to just allow James Butler to read the blocking, and now they are in field goal range.
Nick Marshall stopped him from taking it the entire way. Butler stands in there to the left of Rourke as they work from the Rider 31. This time he guns it over the middle, back to Rhymes for his 5th catch of the game.
Good to see Mike Edem back in the game. I mean, this is a good drive for the Lions. I don't want to distract from that, but Mike Edem left the game in a lot of pain earlier on. He's right up there to the left of your screen. Will actually make the tackle on this slant route to Dominic Rhymes. So he's got that elbow wrapped up. He led with his shoulder, so it looks like he's protecting it a little bit, but great to see him back in the game.
Toughing it out, trying to make a play for his defense. Whitehead, Hatcher to the right for Rourke. They'll hand it off to Butler, who cuts it back, tried to get it to the 15, and he's stopped there by Darnell Sankey. These guys are both closing in on double-digit tackles in the game tonight.
Well, competing against themselves for first in the league, and this offense, the BC Lions, boy, it's got a lot of weapons, and Brian Burnham is knocking on the door. Yeah, right. Knocking on the door to return.
9th play of this drive for Rourke. 3 receivers to his left. That's where he looks first. That's where he's going to go towards the end zone. Is it held on to? Yes! Javon Catoy, holy smokes, hauls it in with a man draped all over him. And the Lions open up a 13-point lead.
Well, that Saskatchewan defense in the last couple of plays there of this drive, they looked like they were tired, like hands on the hips. Not quite getting there in time. Edem coming on a blitz was close, but if you don't get there from the safety spot, the hole is down the middle. Throw it up there. There's no safety in the middle to try and take that one. Great read. Again, Nathan Rourke processing the defense he sees, the information they're providing him, and going right where they left.
It was Amari Henderson trying to make a play on the much bigger target, 6'5". Catoy kind of mistimed his jump, but still was able to haul it in. His 3rd touchdown of the season. Rourke now at 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, 27 of 32, and that touchdown has them on top by 14.
Summer on at McDonald's McCafe. Enjoy refreshing Coca-Cola or delicious McCafe Premium Roast Iced Coffee.
Pops, Sis, Dario, Ariel, Rihanna, and Jackie. Big up everybody.
The entire family getting a shutout there from Javon Catoy.
Mountain Mama. You hear? It's country night.
Yeah, it is country night.
They're singing it. Country roads in the background.
It's a great night to be here.
Yeah,
we're country
absolutely.
guys, so
I like it. I love it. Want some more of it.
The Tunes have been on point tonight. We will say that here at Mosaic. Riders need some sort of spark. The Lions have scored 27 points in a row.
So that last touchdown to Javon Catoy ends up in a man look. Here's Rhymes, there's his man, there's Catoy. It's going to be here and here. It ends up man-to-man along the lines or the coverage for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and it's Moncrief at the top who's got to cover on this outside route. So that breaks outside, and that gets Amari Henderson in a bit of a bind. And he hesitates for a second with no safety help because Mike Edom went on a blitz. Inside position gained by Catoy.
Still time for the Riders, but they got to get this ball moving down the field. They'll have a completion up towards the 40. Back to McGinnis for 6 yards. That's his 4th catch of the game. Only Duke Williams has more.
Yeah, and you got to now, your 3-down football, and the clock becomes the enemy, and you got to get the plays called on the line of scrimmage with Cody Fajardo.
Needs 4 more yards to keep this offense on the field. They're going to bring some pressure. He gets rid of it. He's got a completion, and that'll take them outside the 50. Schaefer Baker hauling it in.
Sarah Orleski was asking before the game about Kyron Moore, I should say, and said that he's really close to returning. Now, after this game, the Riders have a bye. That will help.
3 left, 3 right for Fajardo. And he put everything he had into that one, found a window, and he's got a first down to his running back, Jamal Morrow.
Because the one thing that I think the Riders offensively are missing a little bit is a deep threat, a guy that can just take the top off the defense and get down the field. I mean, Duke can do it, but he
does it differently.
Yeah, he does it differently. He does it route running, and Keon Schaefer Baker has the speed to do it, although we haven't seen a shot down the field for him.
Fajardo again steps up over the middle. He's got a completion inside the 30. The Lions are saying no, and they're going to wave it off. And it was Williams again. Duke couldn't haul this one in.
Yeah, that's a couple that have been just slightly behind him, so he has to put the brakes on, but you got to make that catch. I mean, he's had 3 of those tonight. Crucial moments that hit his hands and didn't come up with it.
We'll take some instructions from Fajardo and slide over to his quarterback's left. 2nd and 10. Fajardo's in trouble on the run. They're going to get to him and take him down. Matthew Betts, 2nd sack of the night, comes around and tracks down 7 in green.
I think Cody Fajardo is frustrated because he wanted some of his receivers to come back to him. Because as he rolls this way, it's going to be Betts chasing him down, and he doesn't know how close he is. It's not about him outrunning. He wants his receivers in scramble drill. If you got a deep route, come back towards the quarterback.
That's looking there like a guy who was highly touted in his draft here, ended up going high in the 1st round. Now 3rd and 11. Fajardo pretty much got to have this. He's in trouble again. Turns, fires down the field, intercepted. Picked off by Purifoy, and the former Rider's going to take it back down along the sideline. Cuts it back in and is eventually tracked down at the 30. Lions defense comes up big.
Well, a bit of desperation time when you're down 2 scores. I mean, you're down 2 possessions, approaching the 3-minute warning. The intended target was Tevin Jones, and it was just the timing of it all, because this is desperation. throw it up, hope your receiver can win a jump ball. But Tevin Jones had just turned around and come back towards him and didn't realize the ball was already in the air.
As he turned around, that ball went over his head.
Exactly.
And there were flags coming back the other way. It's unnecessary roughness on Tehema, so that will back them up, and they'll place this at the 45-yard line of Saskatchewan.
After the interception, we have unnecessary roughness, player misconduct foul, BC number 47. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be BC first down.
Now the fans here in attendance tonight know all about Purifoy and what he did here with the Riders. Comes up with a big play, dropped right into his hands after Jones had got turned around. Rourke now with a 14-point lead will look to seal this thing away for good. Just over 3 minutes on the clock. Right up the gut with Butler, and almost had enough for a first down there.
Well, he returns Luchez Purifoy. I know the Riders didn't want to have him leave this football team. They believed he was just so versatile. Look at that. That is quite the glove look. Let's see. I'm every nightmare you've ever had.
That's that mask he wears out when he wears it out quite often.
The creativity.
Look at that look.
Look at it.
Custom-made Pennywise mitts. And pushed ahead, and that'll be enough for a first down for the BC Lions. With 2 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock, the visitors looking to snap a losing streak against the Riders are in full control.
Sleeman clear.
That look kind of summed it up there for Cody Fajardo as he looked up to the sky. And things started well for the Riders. Defense put their offense in a good spot. They had a 10-1 lead. Since then, it was 17-4 at one point.
Yeah,
it's been all BC since then.
I think that big drive by Nathan Rourke right at the end of the first half, like there was a minute 16 left when he got the ball back and he put a major on the board, made it a 3-point game, took all the momentum, and they haven't given it up.
Rourke's at 336 yards, 2 touchdowns. Probably see a steady diet of this man. Butler, Riders know it. There's a flag on the play as he is scooped up by a couple members of that Saskatchewan defense.
Holding, BC number 50. That penalty's declined. Second down.
Phil Norman with the hold.
You know, a couple of plays early on, saw Charleston Hughes get in, Anthony Lanier made a couple, but since then, again, the veteran offensive line playing together have not just continue to roll, and James Butler all of a sudden, he's up to almost 70 yards.
Rourke's going to be throwing here. Big hits. It was Hatcher who went up to get it and got popped before he could come down with it.
Complete pass. It will be third down.
Saying he got rocked there by Nick Marshall on the outside, and the ball didn't hit the ground at some point here. Or did he catch it?
Like he almost kept that up on his shoulder. We'll have to get another look at it here. That was loose on the way down.
Loose there. No, bounce. Good call by the official.
Still having a great night. 110 yards on 7 catches. They will bring out Sean White. First miss of the season tonight, but made a couple as well. This one from 46, and it is wide left. Alford in trouble here. And eventually he'll just concede and take a knee. Brought one out in the first half that put his team on the one. They conceded a safety shortly after. I believe made it 17-6 at that point. It kind of was the first points that really got BC going.
It really was, and then that final drive before the half made it a 3-point game and 27 unanswered points by the Lions since then. But you take a look at, just tread on the tires, so to speak. The Riders have played 7. This is their 8th game of the season. They'll go into their bye this coming weekend. The Lions are playing game number 6. They played 5 coming in, so 2 games less than the Riders.
Mason Fine into the game for the Riders. And that pass falls incomplete, looking for McInnes. What'd you think of Fajardo tonight as he gets the rest of the night off here with 1:38 left?
Yeah, I think the good news is that he didn't re-aggravate that injury, that knee injury, that he looked like he was semi-mobile, not like he normally is. I mean, part of his game is running the football.
Didn't really run it tonight. Flag here is fine. Gets tracked down from behind. Boy, Betts is all over the place.
But, again, watching this team the last couple of weeks, what's missing? You're trying to think, what's missing offensively? And, Duke Williams not going to have a night like Duke Williams had tonight. He dropped 3 or 4 he should have caught. Some of them were key moments. Duke Williams not going to have that kind of night every night. Keon Schaefer-Baker is being underutilized in the last 2 games. So he's got to get back and involved. But where's the deep threat? Where's the guy that takes the top off and opens up all the intermediate routes? If it can be Kyron Moore coming back, I mean, Schaefer-Baker's got some speed now. It just feels like that's what's missing.
Could it be Emilus?
Could be
the guy they mixed in a little bit on returns. 7th overall pick in the draft.
But it's tomorrow here. He's got the speed, but he's also got to be a guy that Jason Moss and Cody Fajardo have confidence in to take shots deep with him. You can't just have him running off all the time as a decoy because they won't be respected by the secondary. So, you get Kyron Moore back in the lineup, and Jason Moss now has a guy.
Misconduct fouls. BC number 98, Saskatchewan number 51.
They're going to see a little bit of each other coming up here. As you mentioned, the Riders have a bye. And then they get Edmonton. They're in Edmonton, and then it's home and home with the BC Lions in late August. So 2 huge games coming up a little bit later in the summer between these 2 teams. BC gets Edmonton right away, and then Calgary, Saskatchewan. Couple games against the Alberta-based teams. They hand it off again here.
Yeah, again, rubber meets the road time. Yeah, I mean now you're playing. The BC Lions improved to 5-1, and now they've got their sights on Calgary and Winnipeg in the division. Try and move up that ladder, and they've got all Western opponents. You mentioned Edmonton, Calgary, then 2 against Saskatchewan. They'll play 1 in the middle against Montreal, back-to-back Calgary, and then you're deciding which one of those 2, and we'll have Winnipeg, Calgary tomorrow night.
That should be a good one as well.
If we can get there.
Get out of my way, says Butler. Yes, if we can get there. As of right now, it's gonna be a tight one. Yeah. There's nothing like a quick turnaround and you get an email saying, hey, your flight's been canceled.
Yeah, your flight's no longer there.
We'll see. We'll be doing the game from somewhere. Oh,
look at that.
Running angry.
What's James Butler at? He's so different than in the style of running like Andrew Harris than Andrew Harris was last week at 143. He had all in though with
player misconduct foul. Saskatchewan number 58. The penalties declined. First down.
With Rourke at 20 yards rushing and James Butler, they've registered that last run, should be at around 100 yards.
Rourke in one more time as the clock ticks down inside 30 seconds. Back to Butler. He's going to be taken down just inside the 35. Now just a chance to take a look at the standings here in the Wild West. of the Canadian Football League. We said Calgary, Winnipeg tomorrow at McMahon, and BC sitting pretty as well. That's a nice race at the top, especially if Calgary's able to hand Winnipeg their first loss tomorrow.
Yeah, and like Edmonton's not out of it. They've got work to do, but they're not out of it, and they're starting to figure it out over there too. We saw some more players released today as Chris Jones is figuring out his lineup. But both divisions tight, and both divisions very different.
Riders into a bye week with 3 consecutive losses. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they need the rest. Cody Fajardo needs the rest. And maybe they get Kyron Moore back, and that will really help this offense get a little more explosive.
For the first time in his career, Cody Fajardo has lost to the BC Lions. The Lions snap an 8-game losing skid to the Riders, and they do it in style. The arm of Nathan Rourke impressing the nation once again. 27 of 33 for 336 yards and a couple of touchdowns to roll in to Mosaic and spoil the party on Friday Night Football. BC Lions dancing their way to 5-1. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's send it to SportsCenter.